What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Hollywood here, and today we have one special box that just came in for the bike. A lot of you guys guessed it on my poll that I put up on YouTube. If you did not guess already, you can probably guess now because of how long the box is and everything. There's only one thing that can fit in that box that was going to fit on this bike, and if you have not figured it out yet, go over to the poll real quick, pause the video, and see what it is. But it is something I've been wanting for a very, very long time to finally get that big ugly thing off the bottom of there, and I can stop sounding like a freaking gosh darn vacuum cleaner, and I can sound like a MotoGP racer. This thing is about to be insane. So let's see what we got in the box. Oh yeah, you guys see it. MotoD Racing. Shout out to those boys over there. They are incredible. This thing came pretty quick. Spark exhaust technology. This is the kind that I got right here, as you guys can see. And I'm gonna pull this out of the box real quick and then kind of lay everything out, and then we can get started. All right, so opening the box up automatically, you see we got everything in here. Oh yeah, look at that. Ooh, I can't wait to get this thing installed, man. Sit this over to the side, and I believe the tips are in here. Now, this is not the exact exhaust I wanted. Like, this is the same brand, this is the same pipes and everything, but the tips is what's killing me. So I wanted the carbon tips. They're a lot more open, and I'll show you guys what I mean in just a second. The diameter is a little bit smaller coming out of these, and the carbon tips, they are way more open. It sounds like a freaking cannon going off, and that's what I wanted. But I have to wait till around like December time to get those ordered, and they're about like $700 a piece. But I'm going to be happy with this regardless, and we're going to just get this thing installed so I can finally have an exhaust, and then I can worry about everything else later. And we're going to get everything taken out, set out to the side, and then we can start installing this thing. So I kind of have everything laid out how it's going to be assembled. So this part goes up top, and then this hooks into that side, that hooks into that side, and yeah. And this is, I have already opened one of the exhaust tips to show you guys what I was talking about. So you see how it goes from pretty wide diameter on the inside. Oh, focus. Oh, I'm about to drop this. Anyways, and then it comes out and it has a smaller diameter right here, which, like I said, the carbon tips, they have, it's a lot more open. It's open all the way through, and doesn't have a smaller diameter, but hey, it is what it is, and we're gonna make it do what it do. So let's get this big hunk of junk off real quick, and then we'll get back to you guys. Okay, so once the fairings are off on the bottom on each side, you gotta start moving your springs. One is right here, and then one is on the inside over here. Don't mind this, guys. Yes, I know, my freaking aftermarket rear sets. I went out to go ride, and well, I did this trying to get it off, but it's doing this, and there's Loctite on it, so it's not moving. The entire bolt's moving, so I gotta take it off, put the OEM back on. But let's get these springs off, and then we'll start undoing all the bolts for the OEM exhaust. All right, so coming around to the other side of the bike, left side, you have one spring up top, and then you have a spring underneath. Let's take those off. All right, now that you have all your springs out, you're gonna go right here to this bolt, and we're gonna use a 6mm hex. Put that in there, and we're gonna take this bolt out. Once you're done on the right side, you want to go over to your left side, and you got one more 6mm hex right there behind the shift rod. That black bolt right there. Let's take that out. All right, once you got that bolt out, now I did have to take my rear set off. I kind of like loosened these up so I didn't have to take it or have it dangling everywhere and in the way. We got one more bolt up under here. If you guys can see that, this would hold your chain guard in place. So we're gonna take that off. It's 4mm. Let's go ahead and take that off real quick. And once that bolt is out, it just simply slides out like so. And then as you can see, this thing is just caked up and dirty. And luckily, I just bought 2 new cans of some brake contact cleaner. So we're gonna get this all cleaned up before we put it back on the bike, because that is disgusting. Sheesh. Okay, so now that everything is undone, we got all the springs undone down there, all the bolts, we got the chain guide, we got the fairings off, we got everything we need to detach this big hunk of junk right here. Now, I'm not gonna film this part because, you know, you gotta beat down, you gotta beat down in the front, and then you gotta, push this way in the front to my left, and then you gotta beat down, and then it should just fall out. Now, I don't want to damage this because I could get some money off of it, but we'll see how it goes in the process. And then obviously, you know, you still got your servo motor right here. So attached, my servo buddy is going to be in the mail in probably like 3 hours or so. It's out for delivery. So whenever that comes in, I will get that installed for you guys. But for now, let's get this off. All right, we got this big hunk of junk off. I didn't realize that I needed to undo the servo motor right here first. So you got 1, 2, and then you got a third bolt up here. That'll help you out, especially when you're trying to push it back this way off of that one, and then also spraying some WD-40 in there as well. Once you got this off and everything, you got to disconnect this clip from right here up in here, and then you got to disconnect this clip right here, and then this is where your servo buddy will plug into whenever you get it in the mail. Mine will be here shortly. And then you can tuck all this back in there and put some Velcro in here, attach the servo to that, or just let it hang. Most people let it hang, but I'm a little neat freak when it comes to these wires, so probably gonna put some Velcro back up here and just tape it out of the way. We got this thing out the way. Now I have my pipes laid out, still in the plastic, that way I don't get any fingerprints on them because my hands are dirty. And I need to get some gloves. But first thing I gotta do is take this little bracket off right here. These are gonna be 6mm Allens. Let's take this. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. All right, I need 2 hands. Be right back. All right, once you get that bracket off, you can kind of like toss it to the side. Now you are going to have to make some room behind here, and you're gonna have to loosen this up right here, which means I have to take my rear sets off to be able to access this. Now I do have to take these off anyways, because like I said, they're fucking trash. But you gotta be able to put your new bracket in there, which is gonna be this one right here. All right, first pipe is on. I had to use a little bit of WD-40 to kind of make it a little slick so it'll slide in there really, really easy. And now we're gonna move over to the other side and get that side installed. Okay, well, when you get to this side, you guys wanna go ahead and loosely put this bracket on, because this bracket is gonna go right where that bolt was we took out earlier, right there. And I'm gonna reuse the same black bolt. I have it right here. And yeah, let's put this part on. All right guys, we got the left side on. Now I did run into a little bit of trouble with this bolt. I don't know why, but it was just not one to go in. I had to get a little impact gun and put it in there, but it has a little gap. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this because it's not really secure all the way, but I'll worry about that later. Now we're just gonna put the rest of the piping on and then put the exhaust tips on, and then also we're going to put our mounting brackets on where the foot pegs go. All right, so we got everything put together. We went ahead and put the springs on, except for that one right there, because I'm gonna take that off and wipe it down with some WD-40 and some alcohol. Make sure you get all the fingerprints off, because you don't want anything to burn into those pipes, because trust me, it's gonna show. But I did end up using the original springs. The 4 that I used was right there. I used one back there, and then the 2 that I took off from up front, I put those back. And then obviously you get these springs that come with the exhaust itself. So, and then also with this little piece, I know you guys are wondering like what happened with this. Well, the pipe is hitting it, so I'm gonna have to shave it down a little bit or find something else that will fit right there. But for now, this is gonna stay off, I guess. Or I'm just gonna shave it down later and then get to it later. But right now, I'm gonna finish putting the springs on, wipe it down, and then we're gonna do a first startup for you guys, so stay tuned. Okay, so the servo buddy just came in and I got it installed. There's this little sticky stuff on the back. I don't know. I'm not really gonna trust that, but I'm just gonna push up in there, and then I have this zip tie. I'm just gonna zip tie this to this little connector up here. That way it's kind of like taut and it's pushed back up in there so it's not flopping around. And then, like I said, we're gonna wipe this down and get the startup going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have everything put back together. We have the exhaust wiped down, we got the springs on, looking good, looking nice. We got the lower fairings put back on. I put my OEM rear set back on that way, because this one's all foobarred. I'm gonna have to get some new ones, or hopefully they'll send me out some new ones. But without further ado, enough talking, let's get this thing started. All right, moment of truth everyone has been waiting for. Oh, I'm nervous, I'm nervous. Oh, I'm in gear. Rookie mistake. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, this thing is crazy loud. Dude, did y'all freaking see the sparks coming out of this thing? I was trying to get back over here in the camera just so I can get a thumbnail. Don't mind me sweating, all right? It's freaking hot in here. Obviously, you got the exhaust running and stuff like that, but Jesus, man. This thing is crazy. Yeah. Dude, I'm so happy I went with this exhaust. Like I said, once again, excuse the sweat and it's freaking hot in here, but shout out to my boy Freaky over at Chowski Moto, I believe. If I'm getting that wrong, I'll put it up on the screen. But he's the one that got me this beautiful titanium exhaust. And he got it to me for a little discount. You know what I'm saying? He's a trackside dealer. Holler at your boy. He can get you right. This freaking exhaust is crazy. Now, like I said, this is not the one that I wanted as far as like the tips and everything, because I wanted the carbon tips because, you know, I'm freaking bougie. You know, when you have a Ducati, you gotta be bougie, all right? You gotta get the carbon tips. But the carbon tips are a lot more open, like I said earlier, and they don't have this smaller diameter. It's actually all the way open, all the way through. And when I saw another video, the dude's exhaust shot out more sparks and flames than what mine did. And I was hoping that mine would do the same, but you know, obviously it's not going to. But like I said, I'm gonna swap these out eventually around like November, December time. I'm gonna order those and then get those in. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment down below your favorite part of the video, and hopefully we can get this thing back working in a working order, because right now your boy's riding without a back brake. All right, I'm gonna throw the video up on the screen. My friggin' brake disc was glowing red because my pistons on the inside of my caliper are just stuck outwards. So there's no way for me to brake. So now I have to disassemble and probably either get a whole new brake caliper or try to rebuild this one, which I'm probably just gonna get a whole new brake caliper and just call it a day, so I ain't gotta rebuild this crap. And then gotta get a new rear set and try to figure out that issue with the plunger going into the master cylinder. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed the video, comment down below your favorite part, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.